Welcome back, it's Lincoln. In today's video, I'm going to discuss utilizing rest as a performance tool for longevity. Now, I believe that this can be broken down into three key factors. One being sleep. Now, I've gone into the research of sleep in a few of my prior videos, the one about regaining homeostasis, solitude, and goal setting. So I'm not going to go into that science now, but I will link those videos below if you want more details. Next, detox and cleanse. So many of us can become addicted to anything, whether it is alcohol, caffeine, even something like social media. Whatever your vice might be, it is sometimes necessary to take a cleanse from it, or maybe just reduce the amount of intake to help provide your body or your mind with rest. Now, I am just finishing a 6-week cleanse, so I'm going to actually discuss that more in depth next week. So I will not be discussing this today. What I do want to discuss more in depth is utilizing deload phases within your training. Now, for those of you who may not know what a deload phase means, this is just reducing the intensity of your workouts for a period of time. Now, I do not believe that this means reducing activity, just the intensity. So let's look at professional athletes as an example. So they will go through 6 to 8 months of intense work during their season, but then they get an off season. And in this off season, this is utilized to rehab injuries, work on skill aspects of their specific sport or position. And for the high level athletes, they still keep themselves in peak condition. So when it comes back around to the next season, they don't have to work as hard to get themselves back in shape. So now many of us, we're not professional athletes, and we're never going to be professional athletes. But within our training, we can still utilize that same methodology to create sustainability within not only our body, the way we function, our mental state, and help keep us on a higher level of performance long term. Now, I didn't start integrating deload phases into my training program until about a year ago. Now, while I understood how they worked and the purpose of them, I was so caught up into just making as much progress as quickly as possible, whether it was getting bigger, stronger, leaner, that I thought by slowing down even for a short period of time, I was going to hinder my progress. But this was a very short-term way of thinking. And now many of us, especially in the younger generations, we get caught up into this idea that we have to be successful or we have to obtain our goals overnight. Now, part of this issue comes from the fact that, especially myself, okay, I'm 32. Any of us in the 30 to 35 and below, we have really developed as adults in a social media dominated world, which means that we're always just a finger click away from seeing the success of millions of people. But what we sometimes forget is that the average life in America is 79 years old. So those of us who are under 35, we haven't even lived half our lives, assuming we live to the average age, meaning that we have so much time and so much potential, but we are also so caught up into obtaining everything now that we will not take care of our mind and body to rest and think about longevity as an essential aspect. Now, I'm going to use my dad as an example. So my dad just turned 60, and he is an avid Harley rider. And recently he told me, he was like, Lincoln, I want to ride my motorcycle on 2 wheels at 80 miles an hour at 80 years old. My dad just gave me a 20-year goal. And now my dad, he's been working out, utilizing weights at home for years and running for years. But I just started working with him to help him gain and maintain strength and balance so he can obtain a goal and do what he loves in 20 years. And more of us need to take that same mindset. Where do I want to be physically? Where do I want to be mentally in the next 15, 20 years? Because for those of us who are blessed to live into our older ages, it is more beneficial if we walk into that period of time moving and feeling better. So I'm going to give a 15-year goal, 10 to 15-year goal for myself. So I have used and abused steroids. Now my goal is to see how long I can make it without utilizing testosterone again. So for the average male, our testosterone kind of tanks in the 40 to 45 age range, which means our physical performance, our mental performance, really our performance in kind of all realms of life takes a dip. So while I do believe I will get back on testosterone at some point in life, I'm really interested to see with now prioritizing 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night, with eating nutrient-dense foods rather than just the chicken and rice style diet. And then just taking care of my mental state and then training different in a much more well-rounded and balanced way. How long will my testosterone stay at a high enough level to where I don't need a supplement again? Now I want to challenge you. Think about it for a few minutes. Where do you want to be physically in the next 10, 15, or even 20 years? What is it that you love doing now that you hope you can still be doing and feel good while doing it later on in life? Take a few minutes, think about that, and comment your thoughts and goals below. If you feel like this video would serve someone well, please share. Thank you, and have a blessed week.